What is up, guys? Isaac M. Finger back at it again, doing another video. Today I'm going to be talking about jigs. There's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and thousands of companies that make jigs. One of my favorite is yank-um Custom Tackle. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram. But this is one of their guerilla jigs. It's a football head, has a flat bottom, that way it stands up nicely just like that in the water column. What I really like about their jigs in specific, they use a mixture of living rubber and silicone for their skirting. The living rubber, if you guys haven't used it, it spreads out. It kind of has it's a slower sink rate, and it floats a little bit more than silicone does, so it gives a different presentation than just a regular silicone skirt. Another thing that I like about yank-ums, before I get into other stuff, is that their heads, the coating on them is superb. The eyes on their heads are recessed, so you don't have to worry about snagging up on your knot and things of that nature. And all of their skirts are hand tied. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Yeah, there you can see it. They're all hand tied, and they use really sharp hooks. So either way, this one is their green pumpkin brown, and I have a, if I can get it here, black and blue as well. Now with yank-um, most of the time I don't mess with their stuff really that much, because I really just like the way their jigs come straight from them. But there is things that I tend to do to almost all jigs before I fish them. One of them is weed guards. They're needed, I understand it, but I hate them. I feel like they can mess up your hookup ratio to a point. And so this is straight from factory, just the way it is. I normally pinch right where the tip of the hook is, and I'll grab my scissors and I'll start my cut right there, and I'll cut it at an angle. That way you have a little bit less obstruction into your hook setting, but you still have that weed guard protecting you from the weeds. Another thing I'll do sometimes, I'm not going to do it on this one because it's really it's something that I do when I'm on the water and I decide that I need to do it, or that I have the capability without messing me up too much, is I'll split that guard and I'll cut some of that out. Another thing you can do while you're on the water, to give you a little bit more security against snags, is you can pinch that weed guard, and this is the same for almost all jigs, and you can fan it out, and that'll give you a little bit more protection against snags. Another thing I like to do on my jigs, I'll add rattles sometimes. I don't do it very often, but sometimes I do. Another nice thing about the yank-um, real quick, is that flat surface on the head really helps with skipping up under docks. If you like to do that, then I suggest looking into heads that have a flat spot on them, and football heads are really nice for it. One of the main things I do, and this one isn't a yank-um, I really like their stuff, and I'm not willing to cut their skirts because they come pretty much the length that I like to fish. This is some other company, but I'll take the skirt, let it fall down naturally, grab it, bring it all together, and you can see where the bend of the hook is. I'll pinch the skirt to where it's all together, and I'll line it up without actually pulling on it, because that'll stretch it and that'll screw you up. So don't pull on it, just pinch it and get it to where it's all lined up, and then I'll cut a V. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. I'll cut a V in that skirt. That way they're not all the same length. Gives it a more of a natural presentation. But cutting it down just a little bit past that hook bend will increase your hookup ratio a lot. The fish won't be able to short strike it as much, and it gives it more of a finesse presentation. And that V, like I said, gives it more of a I missed one. Gives it more of a tapered effect, and cutting it like a V gives it more of a natural effect, because each individual skirt fiber will be a different length. So that's another thing that you can do with your jigs. One thing that everybody knows about, but I'll touch on it real quick, is adding a trailer. One of my favorite trailers is a Gambler twin tail grub. Get them in the color that matches my jigs is the way that I like to do it. Some people contrast, and that works sometimes, but I like to make mine match. It's just a thing. So say this is a green pumpkin brown jig, and then I've got a what do they call this color? Green pumpkin jelly. So it's got that green pumpkin with a little bit of blue flake and a little bit of red, reddish brown. And what I like to do with these is I'll just thread those like normal onto my jig. Get this weed guard out of the way. That's the one most difficult thing about threading stuff onto a jig, in my opinion, is that weed guard getting in the way. But push that on there. That's that Gambler twin tail grub. And this is the green pumpkin jelly color, and it has that Gambler scent to it. So not only are you adding a trailer to your jig, you're also adding some scent to your jig. And you can see how that's hanging down like that. Gives it more action, more vibration through the water. Plus you got that scent that can attract the bass as well. So adding trailers, and you don't have to use the twin tail grubs. I really like using grubs on trailers, or as trailers I should say. But another thing that works really well is you can take the Gambler's Flappy Daddy, and I really just love this saw plastic in particular for lots of reasons. You can Texas rig it, you can shaky head it, you can pinch it off, do it like a chunk, you can leave it on and thread it just like a normal trailer, have a real long trailer. I'm not going to thread it on there right now, but see, you could have a real long presentation, pinch it off, swing it like a chunk, have that real finesse with just the paddle sticking out. And like I say, I try to match my colors. Green pumpkin jig, green pumpkin trailer. But that's just me. And all of Gambler's stuff has that scent to it. So you're adding a secondary or a third addition to your jig. Last thing I'm going to cover on, and this is kind of an odd jig going on here. It's kind of a finesse jig. I took and cut the skirt material that was laying down. I pulled this tighter, did a wire wrap around it. It's not from yank-um, so it's not pre-tied like that. But yank-um, you call them and you can set stuff up the way that you want. So if you want a finesse jig, talk to them, and I'm sure that they can get you hooked up with whatever you're needing or whatever you want. But take a white jig or whatever color you want. This one happens to be white because it's going to be easier to show you guys what I'm talking about here. And then I've got some Spike It in a chartreuse color. Take that cap off. Try not to get this stuff on yourselves, guys. It stinks. It'll stain you. It'll stain everything. Your wife, your kids. Everybody will be disappointed. You'll be disappointed. So, that's my fair warning on that issue. Get all your skirt in there. And I like to hold it for a few seconds. Pull that skirt out. Make sure it doesn't drip everywhere. And then, as you can see, I've got that white with a little bit of chartreuse on that tail. And I'll pull it apart. And I like to do this. You can do it on the water and just tie it on before you go to a spot. That way, as you're moving with your boat, that wind blowing through will help this skirt dry, and it'll wiggle and it'll keep it apart. But if it does dry and kind of stick together, you can pull it apart. It's not like it's been super glued or anything that'll cause you grief like that. But yeah, guys, look up Gambler. They make great soft plastics, really superb trailers for your jigs, and whatever else you like to add trailers to. And their stuff is just awesome. Look up Yank-um Custom Tackle. They make all kinds of different things. I really love their jigs, and they're just really super high quality at an affordable price, and they're handmade in the USA. I think their operation has like 5 guys working as far as building stuff goes. But their time as far as shipping and ordering and everything like that, super reasonable. Look them up on Facebook and Instagram, and they're super nice guys, super easy to work with, and they will get you what you're looking for at a reasonable price and at a reasonable time frame. But that's my take on jigs. That's what I do with them to help me get more hookups and more bites. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys want to see any other videos on specific things. I'm still coming out with them once a week, so hit me up. Let me know what you guys want to see, and thanks again for watching.